Yo, welcome back to another episode of PVT, Player versus Team. I'm your host, Moo, and I'm back with my main guy. I know you guys all missed him last week, so I had to go drag him out. My boy, Willie Beeman. How we doing, big dog?
How you doing, man? How you doing? Good to be back. You guys had a hell of a show last week.
We did. Hey, man, I'm doing really good. We did have a really good show last week. Me and DJ Micah B held it down. Shout out to our boy, DJ Micah B. If he's able to slide through, y'all will definitely see the resident DJ up here. But if not, hey, shout out to our boy anyway. But yeah, no, the show last week went really smooth. We got into some football talk. We got into a little bit of Olympics, basketball here and there, but it was mainly a lot of football talk. Just kind of previewing or talking about CeeDee Lamb, his contract disputes. We got into a little bit of Brandon Ayuk, his contract disputes. That turned into a whole breakdown of top 5 receivers, or who was a top 5 receiver that was paid like a top 5 receiver that has won a Super Bowl. So, you know, it was a pretty dope conversation. If I would say so myself. But like last week, we're going to get into a little football, little Olympics today, and then try to finish it up with some MMA. Starting off, let me go ahead and hit my notes real quick because I'll be taking notes every single week. All right. So Olympic basketball, Olympics USA men's basketball team finished out with the gold medal. What are our early thoughts about that?
Some people might get on to me about this.
Go ahead and cook.
But I thought KD deserved the MVP.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that's a fair take.
I mean, don't get me wrong. LeBron was consistent, but when KD came back out there, when you needed a big shot to turn these games around, KD gave it to you. He gave it to you. Fair. And then the last two, Steph did his thing and was the man. So again, I don't think Steph got robbed. I think KD got robbed. That's just me.
I think that's fair. I'm not gonna lie to you. And main reason being, I would say that's fair is because you've seen, even before KD came on, we talked about this on Basket to Basket. We seen that the USA needed some way, shape, or form of scoring, some type of scoring, right? Somebody who can come in and get their own shot. And although yes, you have a Devin Booker, although yes, you have Jason Tatum, nobody has the ability that Kevin Durant particularly has because of his size, right? He's a mismatch. So I knew that once you insert somebody like him into the lineup, that he's just an automatic mismatch. And it's just about, him, getting his start to fill in his mode, get into his bag, right? Get into his spots and, taking some smart shots, which he did, especially after the third game, because the first game was kind of rough, kind of shaky a little bit because he was just coming back. But after the third game, where he kind of found his rhythm, got a little sweat going. And I said it when we were playing Serbia. I was like, we got to get KD into the game because we just need some type of scoring, right?
Yep.
And it was interesting that at first he started off kind of slow, but like I said, I was like, yeah, he got to get his sweat going. Once he gets his little sweat going because he's cold, he's gonna take off. Halftime goes, Kerr takes him out. Of course, his little weird ass lineups. We'll get into that a little later. Kerr takes him out before half, brings it back in at the start of halftime, and he starts to get into his bag and cook a little bit. So I think that's fair, right? And then in the France game, the gold medal game, it's basically the same thing. He's getting a lot more minutes. Steve Kerr is starting to let him, get into his bag a little bit. He's leaving the guys out there just to play because he knows that they're going to bring the most energy and he's going to get the biggest output. So I think that's fair, right? Me personally, I was leaning more towards Steph. Main reason being is because they don't get to those games without his explosions, right? Like if he doesn't explode towards the end, They don't. That doesn't happen.
Particularly those last 2 games. You're on mute.
You have to wash it.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yeah, talking to my daughter.
You're good.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that KD definitely had a case, right? But it's interesting because I didn't even know they had this award, right? Like I didn't even know they gave out.
I didn't know they did that either.
Like Olympics MVP or gold medal game, Olympics. I was like, what? I didn't even know they did MVP. Just like I didn't know you can drop out of the Olympics.
He doing shots at Kawhi.
Yeah, I didn't know there was an MVP award. I'm like, what?
Oh my
MVP?
gosh, he
Right.
throwing shots at Kawhi. Too early in the show to throw shots, man.
I just had to get that in there. You know what I'm saying? I just had to get that in there. I was interested. I was like, wow, they got an MVP. That's kind of crazy. Okay, I didn't think that was like MVP of the Olympics. Yeah, but shit, hey, more power to y'all. I see. Go ahead, do what y'all do. Okay, I'm not mad at it. I just feel like if you gonna get out MVP, give one out every single year. Shit.
Right.
Well,
right.
Hey, it's
just want to make no
is
special
what it
case.
But speaking about the men's Olympics team, there was a lot of talk about Jason Tatum and why he didn't play and all the stuff like that. And would that affect him coming back to the Olympics in 2028?
He ain't coming back.
You think he's not coming back?
He ain't coming back. Especially if Steve Kerr the coach. If Steve Kerr's not the coach, then it's a maybe. But if Steve Kerr the coach, he ain't coming back. And I don't understand what his thought or what his reasoning is for keeping him out of these games. I don't understand that.
I think, and this is what I chalked it up to when we were talking about it on Monday, right? I chalked it up to as him not being, and as superficial as it sounds, him not being old enough. I'm not even gonna lie to you, right? And I go back. The reason why I say that is because I go back to 2008, right? And just looking at it, how they lean more on the veterans of the team, right? And then going back to even the Dream Team, where they leaned on more of the veterans of the team. It's just like I feel like it was not like a sign, not like a shot, but it's just like you see these guys, you see the KDs, you see the Kevin Durant's, you see the Steph Curry's, and although you are a respective star in your team and a respective star in this league, and in NBA terms, you may be better than these guys, right?
Right.
Maybe not in Olympic terms. Like maybe not in Olympic terms are you necessarily.
But for that argument to hold, and with the differences between the NBA and the Olympic game, you would think he would be better in the Olympic games than he would be in the NBA.
You see, and I thought about that too, but the reason why I said, or the reason why I think it's the opposite is because a lot of guys are renowned to say that the Olympics are a different game, right? It's more physical. The refs don't necessarily listen to you that well, and you're not going to get all the calls you would get in the NBA and stuff like that, right? But I'm thinking it's more just like Kerr just leaning more on his young guys. I don't even want to say Kerr because you got Ty Lue there, you got Eric Spoelstra there,
Grant Hill.
So I think it's more of the coaches just leaning on their older guys compared to the young guys, right? Because Tyrese Halliburton didn't play. Devin Booker played, sporadically, which I think he played the role that he was supposed to play. He came in to play really big minutes at a really big time. But just looking at it, right? And that's just the thing I'm chalking it up to. I don't really know if there's any basis or foundation to this. I'm just thinking like the way I know Steve Kerr to play and to Steve Kerr to coach, it's like he's going to lean on his vets and basically have his vets take him to the promised land. He's going to win and die or live and die by his vets, right? And I seen it, with the Warriors, and I kind of had a feeling that it was going to happen with the USA basketball team, just because you have a guy like LeBron, you have a guy like KD, you have a guy like Steph, and those are the OGs, the vets, the superstars of that team. And even though you do have your respective young talent, right, it's different to put a superstar lineup with vets of that caliber with another young superstar and have them kind of mesh instead of putting those three superstars out there with the Drew Holiday and with a Derek White and with the Devin Booker and with the a Joel Embiid, because they can kind of understand the pecking order. Right. I'm not saying that Jason Tatum didn't understand the pecking order, because I still feel like Steve Kerr should have played him in different moments. You have two of his teammates on your team.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can easily run a 3-man with that. Plug in Joel or Bam, or plug in Joel and Bam, because you can have Bam at the 4, Joel at the 5, freaking Drew at the 1, Derek White at the 2, and then Tatum at the 3.
Yep. And
that would have been perfect, because you 3 of those guys already have chemistry. You have the spacing with Joel and Bam. I'm just trying to figure out why that dynamic couldn't have worked. So, like I said, I'm not saying that Steve Kerr shouldn't have played him and it was smart too, but I'm just saying, like, I understand the whole pecking order thing, and if that's the case, then I get it. But even then, you still should have tried to work him in to the lineup, especially considering you have 3 of his teammates on here or on the team, and two of those teammates on the team. Not to mention 2 of those guys are his role players, so he would know how to play with those guys more than
anyone else would.
Any of them would. So
it would have been nice to see him out there. And I just feel that Steve Kerr is going to be the coach. I don't think he will be. I think you need to start going in a different direction than NBA coaches, more college coaches. A real good college coach would be good to put in that spot, in my opinion.
I think so too.
And well, if it's Steve Kerr, I don't think Jason Tatum would play. I really don't.
I can understand that, and honestly, I think they had something there with the whole college coach, right? When you had guys like Coach K, like Phil with a slew full of maybe some NBA guys, but a lot of college guys, they're more innovative, right? In the things that they can do, they're more innovative in things that they try, so that they're not scared to necessarily fail, right? And I think Grant Hill played a really big part in this, because he, picked the lineup, right? He picked the players that went in there, right? And I think that's the reason why a lot of people had a problem with it to begin with, is because he was kind of all over the place with his picks. So I think, or I'm hoping, next in 2028 that he's just a little bit more strategic with how he's because I feel like there's a lot of different ways that he could have went.
Oh yeah.
The lineups and just his picks, but I feel like he picked a lot of the household names because they're household names.
Right. Unlike what the women did.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But just looking over it, right, I was thinking, like, who would probably be the ones to actually make the team next year, right? Or not next year, the next 4 years, right? If just thinking about Jason Tatum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you might have Ant-Man. Or not even might.
Be there again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll end up probably getting Devin Booker again.
Yeah, get Devin. He's still young.
You might, depending on, I would say, depending on how his body feels, you may be able to get KD back.
I don't know, because he's what, 34?
Yeah, 34, 35, I believe.
Yeah,
34.
That's 40.
So, yeah, he'd be exactly 40. And that's the reason why I said it's probably an outreach, or it'll probably be the same thing for Steph, because he'd be exactly 40. LeBron is 43, 42. So, like, you can basically count those guys out. So, just looking at it, I'm thinking, if Jason Tatum comes back, right, which I think he will. I don't think he will let something like this hinder him, but I would understand why he would be upset about it. But I think he comes back to prove a point, just because I think he's petty like that. But I'm thinking Jason Tatum. I'm thinking Drew Holiday won't come back because he might be too old.
Yeah.
Thinking Devin Booker, and I don't know about Tyrese Halliburton, because I don't think he could have been there this year. So Probably not him. I think they may be able to get Bam back.
Yeah.
And possibly give Evan Mobley a call.
Ooh, very cool.
I'm thinking Jalen Brunson and probably.
Just thinking Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, I'm thinking he gets the call this time. And I want to say one of the role players over there too. If it's not Josh Hart, it's probably going to be Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
Just because I know that they all work really well together, so they're probably going to try to keep either all of them or just one or two of them together.
Yeah.
Probably Paolo.
Yeah. He'll be a good one.
So I just feel like the Team USA is going to look tremendously different.
Really different. With all this young talent coming into the league.
Yeah. Because we might fuck around and see John LaMelo on Team USA.
Yeah. Could be.
You know,
could be.
Which I don't know if I necessarily like that because you put them two young boys in LA. Hey,
I need y'all to leave these guns alone. That's what I need y'all to do.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying is, hey, you know, LA, La La Land, City of Angels.
I need that whole Grizzly team to stay healthy this year. They was on the sidelines with the coach, most of them.
Hey, they was all in the medical tent in the locker room watching the games.
Yep. Desmond Bain and all of them was right there, right next to the coach.
Every single one of them sitting there like, hey, coach, how you doing today? You good?
I did a basketball segment yesterday. And we were talking about coaches on the hot seat. I don't think old boy was on the hot seat. What you gonna do? I mean, injuries are injuries. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you can't really do nothing about that. Like, Ja comes back after being suspended the last year, right? Nobody can predict him hurting his shoulder, right? Steven Adams, freaking constantly with the knee and then Achilles and the knee, so it's like that's tough.
Yep.
Right. You lose Desmond Bain.
Yep.
And
Marcus Smart.
Right? Like, can't nobody predict that.
No, you can't.
Like that's just tough, right? So I mean, I always feel like coaches or teams that lose a lot of players at certain times and that affects their record, and that coach, quote unquote, ends up on the hot seat. It's like that's not necessarily fair because who did he have to work with?
Right.
Like
it's not like every team. It's not like every team has built-in depth like that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And that's exactly what I be saying. Like, not everybody has the bench to carry, all of the vitriol or all the turmoil that's going on with the team, right? So it's like you can't really blame the coach for that. All he's trying to do is just adjust and keep it pushing.
Yep.
So I always thought that shit was unfair. Just like JB Bickershire, he loses his job in Cleveland, but it's like 2 years in a row, 3 years in a row, he's dealt with crazy injuries at the worst possible time. So it's like he's never had a full roster, healthy roster to really work with and compete with. So I think that's tough. But I think the Olympics next year is definitely going to be something, or in the next 4 years, definitely going to be something interesting. They did add. They are adding some new sports. One being flag football from NFL based. They're taking out that horrible edition of breakdancing. If that was what they wanted to call breakdancing, I honestly didn't even know that breakdancing was an Olympic sport. But hey,
I didn't know either. I would have went out.
I'm trying to tell you, dog. I would have been out there. You know what I'm saying? I used to breakdance all the time. You know what I mean? On my back, all kind of crazy shit, man. I would have stood on my elbow. Man,
got the boom about everything. Let's go.
Man, bro, thank you. I would have been out there, stood up on my elbow like Chris Brown, stomped the yard type shit. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dog. I used to really do this, man. But shout out to all the Olympic athletes, man. I wanted to say that. I want to get out here. Shout out to all the Olympic athletes, every single one of them. You guys went out there. You guys competed. I know that the conditions were shitty and horrible and all the above, and there was a whole bunch of adversity and transgressions and just a whole bunch of bullshit that y'all had to deal with. So shout out to y'all for going out there, especially the Americans for going out there despite everything and taking gold, right?
Yep.
Having the most medals from the most athletes, which is what we're supposed to do.
Oh,
But
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
let's never go back to France again. Like,
No, let's leave that alone. We don't need to
if
go back there.
ever have a choice of where to go for the Olympics, France, Paris is not one of them. Like,
No,
at all.
no,
Okay?
no,
It cannot be at all.
no.
But on the other side of the Olympics, it's the women's just kind of finished up. The women's go for a record 8th straight gold medal, beating I think it was Nigeria in the gold medal game. I believe it was Nigeria in the gold medal game. Was it Nigeria or Ghana?
I think it was Nigeria.
Yeah. But that, I believe that Olympic team is going to look even more interesting than this one.
Oh, we already know it's going to get almost a complete not quite a. It's going to be a complete makeover for the most part.
I would say damn near almost complete makeover. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think the only consistent one, Asia Wilson will probably come back.
Yep.
I think you'll put Caitlin Clark on this team. I think you'll put Angel on this team. I think Cameron Brink gets on once she comes back healthy. I think that'll be a good start to your core for that roster. The only thing with Angel, I need to see Angel develop some type of a shot. I need to see her develop a baseline. I need to see her develop free throw line, extended something. She's too close. If you look at her, she misses a lot of shots that she shouldn't miss.
She does.
I need her to develop some type of a consistent outside shot. If you go back to the day and look at AC Green, what got AC Green over? The fact he hustled, rebounded, but he also had one of the best baseline shots ever. You needed a shot. You give the Green on a baseline for the Lakers, and there you go.
That's true. That's true. I 100% agree. I've been saying this for the longest time. As far as defense, as far as rebounding, right, as far as second chance opportunities, she's one of the best in the game. But she has to develop her post moves, right? And it's crazy for somebody who has really great footwork that nobody's kind of sat her down or took her to the side. Like, yeah, you can really be a dominant offensive player as well as defensive player if you really worked on your post moves. And it's there, right? And like you said, I think she just needs to develop how to really play big, right? Because she does play big as far as rebounds and defense, but on the offensive side of the ball, it's not she's not playing as big as she needs to be playing, right? She throws up a lot of wild shots. She throws up a lot of low efficient shots, right? With hopes that they go in. But if she just develops a few post moves, then
that
takes her game from here to literally here, right? Few, few steps here, round, bow, dribble. I caught him jumping.
Yep.
Right under him, right? So I mean, it's. I just feel like if she develop, and especially like you said, if she can push out and develop that free throw line jumper, like a LaMarcus Aldridge or an Ace, oh my God.
Get that free throw line extended, man.
It's gracious.
Baseline would be a bonus if you can develop that shot, man. Because you can't triple team her. You can't triple team her when she's out there like that. You have to make a decision to guard her. You might be able to double, but she'll see the double coming and pass it off. So I just think she needs to develop a shot. And once she develops that shot, I think you'll see her potential go through the roof. Because I think that's her only weakness to her game.
Honestly, I think that's fair. I'm not even gonna lie to you, and I think that's probably the best assessment that somebody's given. It's just to further develop a shot, man. Work on the just tighten up the footwork to the point where now you're working in an offensive post and you're a factor down there, right? Like that. Like I'm watching the highlights right now. Like that can't happen. You got to get. You got to get BG off her feet, right? If you got BG stagnant and she's just sitting up here waiting for you to make a move at the rim, then of course there's nothing that's going to deter her from moving from that spot, right? But if you develop some type of post moves to where you catch her jumping or you catch her moving and you can move her off that spot just by being a lot quicker than her because you're not taller than her, then that's going to help you in the long run, especially against, a lot of bigger defenders.
Exactly.
Which I think her and Camila need to work together a lot more, especially on offensive game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just so much defense, but work on the offensive game, work on some offensive sets to where you're getting your these girls the ball in a low post and they're going to work. Boom, now, right? Boom, dribble, pass it out. Dribble. Now I'm going to work. Face spin move here, come up under, right? Dribble. I'm gonna send it to the baseline, send it to the free throw line, quick pop, right? Like let's get these women in their bag a little bit, you know. But I definitely think that's a fair lineup, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Reese, Caitlin Clark. I think Asia Wilson, Brink. I think she makes the team. I think Sabrina Ionescu. I think she makes the team again.
Yeah, she'll come back. She'll
definitely end up coming back. And maybe I want to say it might be too late, but I think they definitely put Stewie on the team. Again, depending on if she's still in the league, I don't know, because she's definitely accomplished a lot in her short time. But I don't know. I feel like if she's still there, they're definitely going to have her there, just because she's a force. A lot of people were saying Paige and Juju, but I don't think that they'll be.
Would Juju be ready though?
I don't think so. And as much as I love her game, I just don't know.
It should be a rookie by the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, she'll be a rookie at that point. I don't think she'll be ready. Now the Olympics after that, yeah, I think she'll be great.
Exactly. And a lot of people are saying that because she's from LA, she went to school in LA, that her missing the Olympics in LA would be mutiny, would be crazy. But I'm just like, they did leave Caitlin off the Olympics this year, so them leaving Juju off wouldn't come to a surprise. But
no,
I don't know, man. I think it'll be different. I think it may come down to legitimately like a one last spot or a few last spots, and she may get it. They may put her on there just to have.
They may do that too, because they may feel that not having Caitlin on was a mistake, so they may have her on just to overcompensate for what they felt was a mistake.
Exactly, which I think is definitely a strong possibility. So I think that lineup is definitely going to look more interesting, and I want to keep my eyes more on that lineup than the men's lineup, just because we kind of sort of have an idea about who the men's is going to be outside of the set, vets and superstars, i.e. LeBron, KD, Steph. But that one I think is different because the young talent, particularly coming in, and the ones that recently came in, they hit different.
Yep.
They hit different. They play it a lot faster, and they play it a lot better, a lot more efficient game. But like they said, the Olympics is a different game, man. Shoot, we seen the test that the USA women's had against Nigeria in the gold medal game, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, right? And we do know a lot of ballers are starting to come from different countries, different parts of the world. So, I just hope they get it right, man. I think it'll be interesting though. But I hope they get it right, because the world is definitely catching up.
Yeah. The world definitely catching up on both sides.
Definitely, no, for real. Definitely for real. It's definitely catching up on both sides. Now moving on to some football. We got Colorado and Dion. A lot of people have been talking about them. Dion recently made comments saying that about the top 10 pick, or about the top 10 spots, saying there was a certain report that tried to come out that said Dion was disrespected by not being in the top 10, but he had to come out and clarify, because Dion doesn't run from anything. He had to come out and clarify, like, I wasn't, that's not even a real quote. What I was saying is, we don't really care about the top 10 spot, but people thinking that we won't be competitive. It was was what more of what I was trying to address, right? I don't really care about, making the top 20 spot or top 25 or being ranked. It's more of the disrespect hurled toward my team and me. So, I understand. I definitely respect it. But how are we feeling about Colorado and their season coming up? Because college football is starting up really soon.
I would like to see Dion, or would have liked to see. It's pretty much over now because he has that perception about him. I would have liked to see him take more of a grounded approach in that new atmosphere. You got to judge where you are, and to be like that in a conference that's never with coaches who've never seen that side of things. Whoever seen that side of blackness, let me put it like that. They haven't
True.
seen a coach come up with shades and introduce. They're not used to that. I think it was Oregon's coach that said we like to look people in the eyes when we talk to them. So they're not used to that. And so that already gave a bad perception of us as it is to them. So because of that, I would like to see him take a little bit more of a grounded approach toward it. Not that you should coddle a cowtown to everybody, but if you would take a little bit more of a grounded approach, then I think things would have been different. Your image in the media would have been different. Your image among these other coaches would have been different. I think you would have been more well respected. Now I got all these coaches that person talking about something. We don't play for clicks. We play for wins. Well, Colorado plays for wins too. They're not playing for clicks, but it's the image that Dion gives that shows that's what they do. It's not true. We all know it. But that's their perception of him because of what he gave. And like I said, I just wish he would have took a little bit more of a grounded approach when dealing coaching wise with these guys because they're not used to it. They don't know it. And I think it would have been better. I think it would have been better for him, a better image for Shador. I think it would have been a little bit better if he came up with a little bit more of a grounded approach. Not so much forget who you are. No, like I say, don't kowtown to nobody. But at the same point, just take a little bit of a different approach because you're in a new conference, you're in a new position, you don't know anybody, they don't know you. So I wish you would have took a little bit of a different approach. Now, as far as the team itself, that team needs a lot of work. A lot of work. If you look at that defense, they struggle on the defensive side. If you look at even size on the defensive line, they struggle. So I hope he can get some recruits up in there that can come to it with physicality and play some actual defense on that side of the ball. They had a lot of games last year going to the 40s.
Yeah.
So I hope they can come in, play some defense, and get some wins. And again, Shador is incredible. I support Shador. He's incredible. But those guys need help on the offensive line. They need help on the defensive line. Linebackers need a little bit of help. And like I said, they're just small. They're undermanned, and they really need some size. But I think Dion will get them there.
I think so too. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's a really fair assessment. Especially when it comes to being like us and going into a city or a town like that. It's definitely not necessarily to tread lightly, but just to have a specific kind of approach because you are dealing with specific kind of people.
Right.
But I think it's interesting that just a lot
Because
of
you got to think about it. Because you got to think you already got the bullseye on your back in the first place.
Exactly.
So,
and people don't necessarily like the type of person that you are, right? And this is how a lot of people, true feelings come out when you don't do or when you're doing something that they don't necessarily approve of, right? So I just think that it's just interesting that they're getting a lot of the talk, right? I seen Warren Sapp in the news. He had an interview, they were talking about the D-line and they were talking about how you don't want to run on the D-line and how he's just not only is he able to teach so much, but he's also learning so much from the kids, which is I thought it's really dope, right? This is something that Warren has been wanting to do for a while. Dion did say that he had to go back and get his degree in coaching and stuff like that. So he went and did that. But I think I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to be top 25 or finish going to the playoffs or whatever the case may be, even though that's the sentiments from around the locker room in that program, which is fine. You got to have confidence. But I do think they'll be tremendously better this year. I don't think they'll be as bad.
I think they'll be. I'll put it to you like this. I think they can be 6 wins to be bowl eligible. I think they can do that.
I think so. Yeah, I think that is 6 wins to be bowl eligible.
Yeah,
which I think is fair, right? I think that's fair. That's a fair assessment coming off last year.
Because I think he'll be bigger. I think he'll have size. Like I said, he'll have some size on both sides of that line. Shedeur will be another year in.
Yeah, be a little more competitive.
Yep. So I think they'll get. I think they'll be bowl eligible.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that, right? We're not going to sit up here, like I said, and jump the gun and say that they're going to make a player, going to make the playoffs, or they're going to be top. No, right? We're not going to sit up here and say that. Now, if the evidence does show that further down the line, we'll come on here and most definitely we'll talk about it. But as of right now, it's not looking like they're going to make a strong push for the playoffs. It looks like they're going to be a solid to mid-tier bowl team. Looking at them last year, they had a lot of games to where they were in for the majority of the part, and then their defense kind of just let them down. So if they could have fixed those problems and fixed the problems on the O-line, but definitely get some receivers that can make some big plays down the field.
Okay, get some size so you can start to get some size on that line too, so you can start you start relying on your running game a little bit more.
Yeah, start relying on your running game a little bit more. You stop trying to rely on Shedeur or not Shedeur, but Travis Hunter, because I know the athlete that he is, but at some point in time, the boy's gonna have to pick a position. He's gonna have to pick one. He's gonna have to stick with one.
Yep.
And
I like Travis. Travis.
I love him as an athlete. Love him to death.
Love both.
But he's gonna have to pick one. I'm sorry. It is what it is. He's gonna have to pick one, and he's gonna have to stick to that, and they're gonna have to build his role on that. Now, when he gets to the league and they understand the type of player that he is, and they kind of want to put him in there, here and there, hey, do your thing. But as of right now, let's have him pick one position that he can develop at and be great at, and when he gets on further, he can have another position to where he can be good.
Agreed.
Let me see what's next on my. Oh, okay. Here we go. Falcons have had 2 major signings as of recently. Yesterday, they traded for one Matthew Judon, and today,
Justin Simmons.
Yes, they signed one Pro Bowl safety, Justin Simmons. What do we think about that one?
Here's the thing that pissed me off. Everybody who watches this show knows I'm a Saints fan. We had this man in our building, and we let him out.
You sure did.
The hell. But I will say this. The Falcons, they ranked last in edge pressures for the last couple of seasons. So Judon's gonna help them there. Simmons gonna help them there, not only in the passing role, but also help them in run support. So I like the 2 moves. Between them getting Kirk Cousins and that offense being revamped a little bit more with Bijan running the football, Algier backing him up. We got London. So yeah, they should win that division. But we all know, and I know I know it's a different sport. And I know it's a different sport. But when you look at teams who load up, doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna win. I mean, look at the damn Dodgers. Different sport, but they are loaded.
Fair point.
And they can't get it done.
That's a fair point.
Got one of the biggest payrolls in MLB and still can't get it done. So that's because you got a squad doesn't mean you're gonna be successful.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's a good point. I think I'm not even gonna lie to you, I was kind of upset, right? But at the same time, I had a feeling that the Raiders wasn't gonna pull the trigger on either one of those guys. I had high hopes, but it's whatever. Like you said, the Falcons definitely do need that pass rush help. And it bolsters their secondary, something crazy because now you have top Pro Bowl safety in there. So the Falcons, I definitely think that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with this year, especially in that league. So that one is that's going to be a very interesting league to keep your eyes on.
They should, if you look at the talent that they have, they should win the NFC South. I don't think they go any further than that, but just by looking at that roster and what everybody else portrays, since they got no offensive, Saints don't have an offensive line. Defense is going to be fine, but they have no offensive line. They got trouble scoring with Derek Carr. I don't think they do much. Carolina, I don't think they do much. Tampa Bay would be their closest. With Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans. But now you got Baker Mayfield with expectations, and we all know Baker Mayfield fails when it comes to having expectations. We don't expect nothing from him. It's the moon and back. But when Baker Mayfield has expectations, he starts fumbling the ball.
That's a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, just looking at that team, looking at the division, they should definitely win it. They should win that division.
They should win it. Where everybody having their problems, they should win it. Tampa Bay got issues too. That defense is going to be a little bit older. We'll see what they do with that secondary. I say the Saints offensive line woes is this going to be their downfall, I think. And Derek Carr not being able to be the quarterback that everybody is paying him to be. Then Carolina's going to struggle again. So it's the Falcons' division to take. All they got to do is take it, and if they don't do it, something's wrong.
Hey, I think that's a fair assessment. By the way, if y'all don't want Derek Carr, I'll definitely take him back because our quarterback's saying,
man, you can have him. You can have him.
Take him back.
You can have him. You can have him.
We got DA over here. We'll just pair those two up and just hope for the best.
Listen, we'll go with Spencer. Look, we'll just do our thing with Spencer Rattler. We'll live with Albert Rattler.
Hey, I feel that at this point. I'm not even gonna lie. But I think that's a really good point. That's a fair assessment because looking at the Bucs, right, and like you said, we know how Baker tends to get with expectations, right? People are starting to look at him, right? And I'm a Baker fan. I love Baker, but this is a fair assessment. We do have to understand that, when the lights are on, Baker does kind of start to go, a little, starts to duck under a little bit. But looking at Tampa, right, they did lose a lot of good pieces on that defense. They did try to keep that offense together, which they relatively did. But they did lose a really big piece on that defense, i.e. Devin White going to the Eagles. So that paired with the Falcons, kind of retooling their defense, retooling that offense. Yeah, no, that they should definitely win that division, hands down. It should not be, in my opinion. I don't think it should be close, but just knowing Tampa Bay, I think they'll keep it close. Just to
my only cause for pause with the Falcons, you have to look at Drake London and Kyle Pitts continue to develop.
This is true.
And Pitts had a bad year last year, and he can't have a repeat of that. He can't.
Yeah, as long as they get that boy the ball, man, they gotta get their receivers, their offensive weapons the ball.
Yeah. We can't be like Arthur Blank and run 30, 40, 50 times. You got to be able to get these receivers and tight ends the ball.
Yeah, you got to throw these guys the ball. You got to get these guys the ball. You got players, you got playmakers, you got Kyle Pitts, you got Drake London, you got Bijan Robinson that we know.
Tyler Algier.
Tyler Algier. You got to get these guys the ball, right? Like there's just be no excuse. NFL injury.
And then if the Falcons fail, you know who's going to get the blame, right?
Oh, most definitely.
You know who's going to get the blame.
Most definitely. Instantaneously. Oh, instantaneously. That's going to be crazy, too. It's going to be hilarious. But, I mean, hey, that's the job they signed up for, okay?
Yeah,
that's
true.
The job they signed up for. You know what I'm saying? You can't be mad at it.
True.
But looking at staying with the NFL, the Vikings have had a slew full of injuries going in or during camp. JJ McCarthy, Jordan Addison, seems like everybody at this point.
TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, TJ Hawkinson. Do you think that you're able to bounce back and kind of put something together before the season starts, or do you think this is going to affect their season?
I think it affects them. Sam Darnold's your quarterback. Enough said.
I was going to say that's really
enough said. I mean, Justin Jefferson is fantastic. The man is fantastic. One of the best receivers in the league.
True.
And I think even with Sam, he'll still get his. But my problem is, you got to rely on Aaron Jones. You got to rely on Ty Chandler to run the football, catch passes in the flat, and the rest are backups at that point. So that's going to be I want to see what that coaching staff can do to overcome these injuries.
I think shoot. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's gonna be a tough one for the Vikings. The injury bug has made its way to the purple and gold, and I'm not talking about the Ravens this time. Okay?
And it hurts. It hurts them. And I'm gonna talk a little bit. It hurts fantasy. It hurts fantasy football because these players aren't available to you. And if you get them, you have to sit on them and wait.
Yeah.
So yeah. I hope all those guys can come back and have a good year. Because if you look at that offense on paper, with everybody healthy, it should be potent. Minus Sam Darnold.
That's a really strong offense. Minus Sam Darnold. That's the reason why I think a lot of people were expecting them to take a quarterback like they did take JJ McCarthy, and they were hoping that he would develop into something that can carry them into the future. Just looking at it on paper, that offense is definitely high powered. And
my problem is, why would you depend on Sam Darnold to?
That's the question.
To mentor anybody. Why?
That's what I'm confused about, because I'm like, I'm really rocking with Sam. Like Sam.
You saw the 49ers get rid of him. You saw the
Jets get rid of him.
You saw the Jets get rid of him.
That's all I needed to see was the Jets, man. And that's I'm not going back after that.
Yep.
I'm not going back after that. That's all I needed to see. Because
Yep.
Nah, can't do it.
Can't do it, man. You better try to trade for Jacoby Brissett or something.
Something. You know what I'm saying? Something needs to be done. Okay. But I think these young guys, these young quarterbacks, they're not going to be sitting for long. I think a lot of these young guys.
I'll tell you one dude who I was sort of kind of messing with them during the draft, but he's proving me wrong right now. That's Bo Nix. He sort of kind of proved me wrong. I've been reading the reports that say he looked good in training camp. So from what I'm understanding, he's looking really good. I was messing with him at first when I first heard the Denver Broncos pick him. I was messing with him. I don't know why are you picking this dude, but I sort of kind of see it from all the reports that's coming back that he's playing really, really well. They just need a receiving core out there now. You let go of Jared Duty. You only got Cortland Sutton.
Which they might trade in the middle of the season.
Yeah. So, you need a few more receivers out there, but you still got Javonte Williams to run the football. So, yeah, but he won't be sitting long.
I think that's I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think that's fair. Main reason being is because Bo Nix is, 37 years old, so he better be seasoned.
He is older.
But I think that team looks dramatically different come trade deadline. I think Cortland fuck around might not be there. I think they probably end up
they might end up trading him.
Yeah, they probably end up coming off of Javonte as well. And I ain't gonna lie to you, if legendary one-time Super Bowl winning coach Sean Payton don't get his shit right,
Javonte just need to stay healthy.
That's the only problem. If Javonte can stay healthy, I think they have something there, right? But if he doesn't stay healthy, I think they probably move on from him.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sean Payton has legitimately one more season before they throw him out the side of the fucking bus.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So he better be careful. And
I ain't never seen, other than Doc Rivers, I ain't never seen one coach get more hype over one ring. And don't get me wrong, he did it for my Saints. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy for him, but this is a what have you done for me lately game, and you hadn't done nothing lately. So
this is very true. This is very true. Now, I will give it to him that, 2 of those times was dramatically taken away from them.
True. Marshawn Lynch, Stephon Diggs, and Marcus Williams, I still hate you.
Yeah, Marcus Williams, that was suck.
I get the play. I understand it. But damn, man.
Go for the tackle.
Yeah.
Go for the tackle.
Yeah.
Go for the tackle in the game, go home, man.
Yeah. He's trying not to get a penalty, and I get it, but damn, tackle him.
Go for the tackle, dog.
Yeah.
Just go for the tackle, man.
Yeah.
But those 2 pass interferences, Vikings and Rams. Okay.
Oh, that Rams was egregious. Rams was egregious.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. Those 2 years, more specifically that Rams year, I swore I would. If I had it, I would have put my goddamn mortgage on it at the time. Okay. I swore the Saints was going to the playoffs. Not the playoffs. I swore they were going to the Super Bowl. I was like, yeah, pick is the Saints. I promise you. There was a 5-year span where I picked the Saints to go to the Super Bowl every single fucking year.
Yeah, they were that good at that point.
I was like, yeah, no, they are that good, bro. Like Drew
Jeremy Shockey was flying. Kumar was brand new, taking Adrian Peterson's place, killing it.
Defense was killing. I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
They're going to the Super Bowl. There's nothing that's stopping them from going to the Super Bowl except the NFL and the referees.
Yep. And that's what stopped them.
That's literally what happened. Let me ask you a question before we move on, and before we start our decline before we get to closing out and getting up out of here. What is one move you think your team needs to make in order to boost themselves in the rankings?
Get a competent offensive lineman, particularly a competent left tackle. You're dependent on a rookie right now. Go get you a competent left tackle, please. Carr needs it.
He definitely does. He definitely does. If I know one thing about Derek Carr, he's not a guy who can work without a good offensive line.
No, he can't run. He can't run. He can't even move his feet. He can't even move his feet to buy time.
Yeah, no, he's not mobile. Not nearly enough as he was prior to him breaking his leg and stuff like that. So
yep.
It's like if I know anything about Derek Carr, he definitely needs a good offensive line, stout offensive line, and that Trevor Penning pick last year just ain't doing it. Not gonna lie to you, it's just not.
He might turn out to be a better right tackle than left.
I think so too. I think so too. I don't think he's necessarily left at the moment. But one team I think the Raiders need to make prior to or to stay competitive or to be competitive or to take us to the next level. I think we need to 1, settle on a quarterback, and 2, probably trade for one. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Trade for one of these young ones. That's gonna be sitting for a while and kind of let them come in and learn the offense with the new coach, and try to make some things happen.
Don't make a trade to get Penny from Atlanta. I'm just kidding. They gonna let me go.
I hope so. I'm hoping so. Honestly, hoping we can get. Oh, honestly, I ain't even gonna lie. I'm hoping that we can get a Jordan Travis.
Ooh, I'll take that.
I really wanted him out of the draft. So I'm hoping we can try to swing that some way, somehow. Pair him up with some of these young guys, and hopefully make some shake, man. Especially in the future, because we got a lot of young pieces that we need to, keep happy and keep moving
Right.
forward. Now, before we get into this little MMA preview,
Go get somebody that can make Devontae Adams better.
Yes, because like I said, he's getting older, right? He's coming up on the wrong side of 30. And like you said, the only thing he needs is a Super Bowl ring.
Yep.
So I'm not saying the Raiders are gonna, be out here and win the Super Bowl, but hey, if y'all can make it happen, I would love it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
Now, before we get to this MMA thing, Nicolas Cage has been casted to play John Madden in the biopic. How are we feeling about that?
Get the hell out of town. Nicolas Cage? Really?
Yes. So
that doesn't work for me.
I don't think I like that either.
That don't work for me.
I don't think I like that either.
When you think of John Madden, you think of a fun-loving, football-loving fat dude. Nicolas Cage don't resemble that at all. Not in appearance or attitude. I ain't feeling that, man. I ain't feeling that, man.
I just don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that. John Madden is very charismatic. He's, very knowledgeable about
the turkey leg for Thanksgiving, the turkey leg.
You know what I'm saying? Turkey leg, the boom, right? You come here, look at this, boom, right?
Boom.
Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I can't see it. He might make it work, but I just can't see it.
Yeah, he might come in here and do a great job, but I don't know.
Very believable.
I don't know if I don't know if I like it right now. I don't know if I like it right now. I don't think I do. But and we have way too early. Offensive rookie and defensive rookie of the year.
Really?
Yep. Way too early.
Has barely started.
Yep.
Get the first preseason game out the way. Really?
Yep. Way too early. Let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the offensive rookie of the year. Now, looking at the rookies offensively this year, right? I probably say that. I think it probably ends up being a toss up. I think it's probably going to end up being between Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. With Keon Coleman being a slight third, right behind.
I like Coleman. I do, but I think it's going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't have, and I know I should, but I don't have any faith in Caleb Williams like that. I just don't.
I understand so. A lot of people
just don't. I mean, when he played against an NFL ready defense in college, which Notre Dame, which is known as an NFL ready defense, or similar to an NFL ready defense as you can get in college, he performed poorly. So I don't know. He could prove me wrong. Just like Bo Nix is proving me wrong. He's got the talent around him to prove me wrong.
True. So, and he has the talent himself. He just has to we're just hoping he puts it together in the right moments.
Oh yeah. No more of this crying and stuff like that, man. Play the game.
Yeah, I think with offensive with offensive and the rookies, I think with a lot of the hype that Caleb's obviously going to get, I think we're not going to be able to deny him. but if Keon Coleman can really help the Bills offense,
Mm-hmm.
step,
I like
which
Coleman a
I don't,
lot.
which I don't doubt that which I don't doubt that he won't, because I think he's a great athlete, and I think he's probably going to be one of those guys that's going to come in and really turn that offense around. But if him and or Marvin Harrison Jr. can kind of get, the offenses of the Cardinals and the Bills, high flying, high powering,
Oh
I
yeah.
think those guys will probably have a really solid case as well.
Oh yeah.
Um, Looking at the defensive side of the ball, um, they probably might end up going. I think I think Leotal Latu might have a case for this one. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And
Mm.
that Colts, him or Dallas Turner, right?
Mm.
In that Colts defense, the Colts is always known to be sneaky good, right? Especially on defense. They always hover between that middle of the pack to bottom of the pack kind of thing. They're always right there in the middle. Okay.
Mm.
And when it comes to that defense, they kind of really rely on that defense. And looking at the defensive line, looking at the DBs that they got, looking at the linebackers, it's not hard, or it's not far fetched to say that Latu can potentially get a lot of good looks in that defense, to where he comes away with 9, maybe 10 sacks. And
Yep.
there's defensive rookie of the year. Same with Dallas Turner. I think with the way he's been playing as of lately, right? First preseason game, right? He's had a really good camp. I think he has a really good case to make it, or to be a defensive rookie of the year as well.
Yeah. They're both good. They're both good teams for them, and they're both good defensive schemes for them. So
True. I think that's yeah. I think
that's
that's
part, and that's partly what you need.
yeah. I think that's fair. It's going to be really interesting, but we'll definitely keep our eyes on that. Like I said, way too early. Now, before we get out of here, before we go downhill, right? Always start to go downhill, but before we get to the bottom of the hill, before we get up out of here, we do have Israel Adasanya coming back to the octagon and facing a one Dricus Du Plessis for the middleweight championship. There's a lot of people that were saying that Izzy didn't necessarily deserve a championship fight so soon. They felt like he should have fought at least somebody else prior to getting a championship bout. But I think a lot of people forget that he was said champion prior to Du Plessis taking it from Sean Strickland.
I remember hearing that. Yeah.
So there is that part of it. And he did go out as a champion. He did get the belt taken away as a champion, so he definitely does have a championship rematch in his contract clause. First time we've seen Izzy in just a little bit over a year. I know you don't necessarily follow MMA, but any early thoughts before the fight this Saturday?
It's kind of like pro wrestling in a way.
Honestly, it really is.
Because you want to make sure that the guy who's getting a shot is deserving. And I get that part. I understand where the fans are coming from. You just don't want no championship bout with someone who worked hard to be the champion. Then some dude come out of nowhere, and yeah, he may have been a champion in the past, but he hadn't done anything to earn it or deserve it. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's like pro wrestling. Don't nobody want to see a fly by night title match. They want to see two legitimate competitors. And I understand where the fans are coming from when they say, "Oh, boy should be fighting somebody else before he fights the champion." I get that.
No, most definitely. I definitely get that too. When it comes to the matchup itself, this is probably going to be an interesting matchup for Izzy. Dricus is known to be a ferocious striker, but at the same time have really solid ground game. He's shorter than Izzy, so he has a lot more lot more bass in his bottom. Pause, because I know that sounds kind of crazy. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. But I think this is going to be interesting, right? Because Izzy's he learns a lot from his losses. So after after he fights, Alex Pereira, he learns that, he has to be able to trade back and forth with, a stronger, kind of bigger competitor, right?
Right.
With Sean, it's kind of the same thing, right? So somebody who's more of a bigger competitor, somebody who's more of a brawler. But with Dricus, he's more of a mixed, like truly mixed, right? He's gonna be able to hit you. He has a really strong jaw. He has really strong, a really strong strike game. He likes to use his knees. He likes to use elbows. But at the same time, he's really, really built. He's really built as well, and he's really bottom heavy. So he'll be able to take you down and kind of wrestle with you a lot and do what he has to do to kind of get the victory. And I think that's what Izzy is really going to have to worry about, is his wrestling ability and his ability to kind of take him down, because Izzy is kind of light in the bottom, and that's always kind of been his one of his weaknesses is wrestling. So I think
Achilles heel, so to speak.
Yeah, his Achilles heel, so to speak, is more wrestling and ground game. So I think he's going to have to work a lot more to kind of keep his distance, keep everything up. But at the same time, Izzy's really good at having people fight more of his fight. A lot of people tend, especially when he comes with wrestlers, a lot of people do tend to try to come in and try to stand up with Izzy and try to just go, strike for strike with him. That never works out in their favor. Just because they think he's more of a John Jones kind of a fighter, but he's not. Right, John is more well-rounded and all-rounded. He can beat you up on his feet, and that's nothing. And he can wrestle you on the ground. But Izzy is more of a solid, pure striker. Not to say that he can't mix it up on the ground as well, but his strength is more as a stand-up, as a striker, picking his shots, being really technical with how he's throwing and how he's hitting and how he's moving and his angles in the ring and stuff like that. So if he can have Dricus more fight his fight and kind of cut off the ring as he's supposed to, pick his shots when he needs to, and possibly come up with a big knockout and not let Dricus take him down too much, and possibly suffer through a submission, I think he'll be solid. I think this will be a really solid fight. The card itself is a really good card. I don't think we've had a few good cards in the past, but I don't think we've had a card this good in a while. So I think this is going to be a really good card, especially for some fighters that are trying to make a name for themselves, be up and coming fighters. Tom Nolan is fighting. We're getting a Ricky Glenn sighting as well. We get Harper Burns again, which is dope. I think the women's match is probably going to be the most exciting. Casey O'Neill, Luana Santos, which is a really, really good fight. So we're getting a lot of really good matchups on this card. This heavyweight matchup, I think, is one I'm really excited for. Tai Tuvisa, which I can't pronounce the second dude's name. I always call him Dara because my boy Kenny played with him actually in college, and he went to Lenore Ryan University out there in South Carolina.
Okay.
But I think that's going to be a really good fight. Hopefully, Ty can bounce back. I think this is it's a really, really solid weekend for sports. We've got a full slate of games for football.
Yep.
Starting with tonight, the Eagles, or I think the Eagles won. I'm sure the Eagles won. The Patriots win. Yeah, the Eagles won. Eagles ended up winning by 1 point.
Okay.
Drake May looks solid in his second outing. I think he's starting the game is starting to come to him a lot easier. He's starting to see the field a lot better. Starting to understand the NFL game a little bit. Kenny Pickett, I think he still is kind of caught up in college. I think that's the reason why Pittsburgh. He's caught up in college, bro. The way he moves, the way he sees the field. It's crazy how Justin Fields got a lot of flack for taking off and running and always wanted to, bail out of there. But that's when I see Kenny Pickett do literally nothing but that. So just interesting how they try to keep all of these narratives on these guys. But full slate of games. Saturday we got the Cowboys, Raiders, Falcons, Ravens, Bengals, Bears, Giants, Texans, Lions, Chiefs, Vikings, Browns, Bills, Steelers, Commanders, Dolphins, Colts, Cardinals, Seahawks, Titans, Jets, Panthers, Rams, Chargers, Bucks, Jags. Then Sunday we finish it out with the Saints, and Niners, and the Broncos and the Packers.
Yep.
So if y'all can go ahead and beat the Saints for me on Sunday, that'll be really beat the Niners for me on Sunday. That'll be really appreciated because I'm around with the Niners fans, and I would love to rub it in their face. I don't care if it's play or if it's preseason or not. A Niners loss will always be good in my book. So if you and the Spencer Rattler and all them guys over there in the black and gold can go ahead and like them guys over there in the red and gold.
With everything going the way it is, you might as well just start Rattler and just take your losses.
Hey man, I'm just the Niners, they ain't got no BA right now. You know what I'm saying? Christian McCaffrey, he's dealing with a little hand with a calf injury. T Will ain't there, Big Trent Will ain't there.
Nope.
I'm just saying, hey, Brock Purdy might not play. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I'm just saying a Niners loss is always great.
Winning a win, loss is a loss. Don't matter when it happened, take it.
Exactly. And anytime the Niners lose, I can always rub it in the fans' face. A little bit.
Oh my goodness.
Before we get up out of here, y'all already know what we like to do. Final thoughts. Willie Main, go ahead and give us your final thoughts, y'all.
Congrats to the men, congrats to the women doing their thing over the Olympics. Congrats to you guys. More power to the NFL season is back. Let's go. College game is about to start again. Even though my FSU Seminoles look terrible on paper right now, we'll see what they do. And real quick, fuck Rob Manfred.
Man. Fuck Rob Manfred. Fuck John Fisher. Fuck all them, bro. Every single one. Okay. I do not care.
Man. I've been saying that forever, and I will keep saying it until he gives up that spot in office.
Period. Okay. Period. And I will keep saying it until John Fisher sells the team. Fuck John Fisher. I don't care. You're a bitch. And I hope you step on a Lego. Okay. All
right. Yeah, let it be the Batman Lego there where you get the horns and everything in your foot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hope you step on a Bionicle. Okay.
There you go.
Right? You know. Okay.
There you go. You know what those are? You know.
Okay. But anything else, Willie?
That's all I got.
Hey, that's all my man's got. Make sure you guys go tap into the rest of the shows throughout the week. Make sure you guys follow all my boy Willie's shows and follow him throughout the rest of the week because he's coming at you with some greatness throughout the rest of the week as well. We're gonna hit y'all tomorrow around 7 o'clock. Inside the huddle. I will be at work, so you're gonna see me driving through all the neighborhoods and shit like that. Mind your business, okay? I'm just dropping off some things to make people feel good. That's it, and that's all, okay? But like I said, I will be at work. Resident mail will be in the building, on the ones and twos. I'm trying to get this video uploaded for y'all, but it might not work, so I'm gonna have to do it another time and get this thing going and stuff like that. But like I said, make sure that you guys tap in with the rest of the shows throughout the rest of the week, and stay up, stay smooth, and just remember, we love you guys. We are out. Peace.
Girl, you rockin' like